The invitation arrived in ornate black envelopes, each addressed in gold ink. 5 strangers, from different walks of life, were summoned to the opulent mansion of the reclusive millionaire, Nathaniel Blackwood. The promise was tantalizing, a chance to win a fortune. All they had to do was survive the night. They gathered in the grand foyer, its high ceilings adorned with crystal chandeliers that cast fractured light over their nervous faces. Nathaniel Blackwood, a tall man with sharp features and a piercing gaze, greeted them with a sly smile. "Welcome, esteemed guests," he began, his voice smooth and commanding. "Tonight, you partake in a game unlike any other. The rules are simple: complete the challenges, face your fears, and emerge victorious. But beware, only one of you will leave here alive to claim the prize." The group exchanged uneasy glances. Among them were Emma, a schoolteacher, Lucas, a former soldier, Maria, a struggling artist, Derek, a businessman, and Sophia, a journalist. They followed Blackwood into a grand dining hall where a long table was set with 5 envelopes. "Each envelope contains your first challenge," Blackwood explained. "Choose wisely." Emma hesitated before picking hers. The others followed suit, their hands trembling as they opened their envelopes. Emma's card read, "The Room of Memories." She was led to a small, dimly lit room filled with objects from her past, childhood toys, photographs, and an old journal. The air grew heavy as memories she had long buried resurfaced. Voices whispered around her, accusing and mocking. The journal flipped open on its own, revealing a page detailing her darkest secret, an incident in her youth where her negligence led to her younger brother's accident. Tears streamed down her face as the room seemed to close in on her. Meanwhile, Lucas' challenge took him to the Hall of Echoes. The long corridor was lined with mirrors, each reflecting a version of himself in his military uniform. The air was filled with the sounds of battle, gunfire, screams, and the cries of his fallen comrades. Lucas clutched his head, trying to block out the voices that accused him of abandoning his unit. Maria found herself in the Gallery of Regret, where her unfinished paintings came to life, their subjects stepping out of the frames to confront her. Each painting depicted a moment where she had failed, her talent twisted into grotesque caricatures. Derek's challenge was in the Vault of Greed, surrounded by piles of money and gold. But as he reached out to take them, the riches turned to ash, and he was confronted by apparitions of those he had betrayed in his relentless pursuit of wealth. Sophia's challenge led her to the Library of Lies, where every book detailed the lives she had ruined through her sensational journalism. Pages turned on their own, and the ghostly figures of those she had wronged whispered in her ears, recounting their ruined reputations and lives. As the night wore on, the challenges became more intense, each exploiting their deepest fears and regrets. It was Sophia who cracked first. The voices in the Library of Lies grew louder, more insistent, until she could no longer distinguish between reality and illusion. She fled the room, screaming, only to find herself trapped in an endless maze of bookshelves. Her screams echoed through the mansion until they abruptly stopped. The remaining 4 gathered in the foyer, their faces pale and drawn. Blackwood appeared once more, his expression unreadable. "Sophia has forfeited the game," he announced. "The stakes have now increased." The next challenges were even more harrowing. Lucas was forced to relive the moment he left his comrades behind, a decision that haunted him every day. Emma faced a spectral version of her brother, who blamed her for his fate. Maria's challenge turned her own creations against her, the twisted figures from her paintings coming to life to torment her. Derek was trapped in a room where his every selfish act played out before him, the ghosts of his past victims seeking retribution. With each challenge, the player's sanity frayed further. The mansion seemed to pulse with malevolent energy, feeding off their fear and despair. One by one, they fell. Maria succumbed to her guilt, the weight of her failures too much to bear. Derek tried to fight his way out, but the apparitions overpowered him, dragging him into the darkness. In the end, it was down to Emma and Lucas. The final challenge brought them face to face in a grand hall filled with mirrors, each reflecting their worst fears. Blackwood appeared, his smile cold and sinister. "Only one can win," he reminded them. "You must decide who it will be." Torn between their own survival and their remaining humanity, Emma and Lucas faced their final test. But as the mirrors shattered, revealing the true nature of their fears, they realized the game was not about wealth or survival, it was about confronting their own demons. In a moment of clarity, Emma stepped forward, sacrificing herself so Lucas could escape. As she faded into the shadows, Lucas was left alone in the hall, the mirrors now reflecting an empty room. Lucas stumbled out of the mansion at dawn, the first rays of sunlight piercing through the dark clouds. The grand doors closed behind him, and when he turned back, the mansion had vanished, leaving only an empty field. In his hand was a check for the promised fortune, but the weight of the night's events pressed heavily on his soul. He walked away, forever changed by the horrors he had faced and the lives lost in the millionaire's twisted game. Far off, the wind carried a faint, chilling laugh, and Lucas knew that the game was not truly over. Somewhere, Nathaniel Blackwood was watching, waiting for his next set of players, but this time would be more deadly.